Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DaveyJay Today. I'm your host, DaveyJay, and today we are going to talk about the brand new Walking Dead spin-off, The Ones Who Live, starring the return of Michonne and Rick. But before I start, I just want to make you, the viewer, understand how much I effing love The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead. I live it, I eat it, I smell it, I breathe it. I've been obsessed with The Walking Dead in general for like the past 12 years. But the reason I haven't done a lot of The Walking Dead show reviews on my YouTube channel is because I respect it so much, and I knew if I ever wanted to do any Walking Dead reviews, it had to be 100% respectful. I wanted to get it right. And so that's why I'm here talking about The Ones Who Live, because I thought this show was absolutely fantastic. Had that right amount of The Walking Dead lore, Rick Grimes, Michonne, awesome. Let's talk about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live.
Davey, 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 Davey.
So I bet a lot of my fans on here, which I probably only have like 4 or 5 real fans. I know there's a lot of people out there who watch, so I want to thank you for continuing to stick with me and not unsubscribe or anything like that. I've just been kind of taking a break because it's tough when you work in a career where you edit video and you write scripts all day, and then you come home to put your feet up, and then you have a YouTube channel, and it's kind of tough to sit back down right after you get done editing video all day and go edit some more video.
Not cool.
Not that I don't love to do it, I just needed a little bit of a break. So that's what I've been doing since the first of the year. I've only released one new video, and that was the Tesla video, which was about a month and a couple weeks ago. So I promise to be uploading much more consistently from here on out, and I'll say pretty much what my plan is as a channel going forward in a different video. That's another video for a different time. But for now, I want to talk about episode 1 of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. And this is the long-awaited television show that was supposed to be a movie at first, and of course Scott M. Gimple, who... Have you seen Scott M. Gimple lately? I don't know what the deal is or what he's dressing like or trying to be, but before he had this kind of low-key vibe, but now he's got this pendant thing going on with his collar. It looks like, I don't know, does he have like a canteen hanging from his neck? I don't know what it is, but he's going through some kind of a hipster movement, maybe some kind of midlife crisis. But Scott M. Gimple, by no means is he the creator of The Walking Dead. He is just an executive producer, which is basically like a showrunner of The Walking Dead. So he's very high up in the ranks as far as what The Walking Dead and AMC produce for television. So before I talk about The Ones Who Live, I should tell you my relationship with The Walking Dead. So you may have noticed after kind of browsing my channel that I don't have a lot of The Walking Dead content on my YouTube channel. And the reason is because if I'm going to do some Walking Dead reviews, I want it to be correct. I want to put my heart and soul into it. The honest truth is that within the last 4 or 5 years, I haven't seen much worth reviewing.
You have no idea how not cool that is.
I mean, Daryl Dixon, there were a couple episodes I liked of that show. Dead City also had a few good episodes. As a whole, they weren't critically acclaimed. They weren't shows that I'd necessarily give a second, third, fourth watch like I would The Walking Dead. The first 6 or 7 seasons of The Walking Dead I could watch over and over and over and over again and just never get sick of it. Obviously, they made it with so much care, the original series that is. As far as Walking Dead spin-offs are concerned, we have, of course, Fear the Walking Dead, which was the first one, and Tales of the Walking Dead. We had Walking Dead World Beyond, and apparently a new TV show that's right around the corner is The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol. Talk about a long title, am I right? That should be interesting. Carol and Daryl are always fun to watch on screen, but they are nothing, and I mean nothing, compared to Rick Grimes and Michonne. They are the heart of The Walking Dead, especially Rick Grimes. But I digress. So essentially, the people that know me best kind of know my story. I had a huge life-changing event happen, and I got sober in 2014, completely changed my whole life, everything from top to bottom. But as I was getting sober and caring about life again, I went through this phase where I felt like I was kind of frozen to pop culture, meaning new songs would come out, new technology would come out, new movies and TV shows would come out, and I would completely miss them. So when I was getting my life together in 2014 and I started to care about myself and love myself again, I discovered shows like Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. My point is that when I started watching The Walking Dead, the show came out in 2010 and I didn't start till 2014, but when I started to care and love myself again, I was watching The Walking Dead. So essentially, The Walking Dead taught me to love myself again. If anybody from The Walking Dead ever watches this or comes across it, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of it. The writers, the cinematographers, the actors, the people who brought water to people who were super thirsty filming in that Georgia heat. I want to thank you, because as I was watching something, as you know, many people say, oh, it's just a TV show, but to me it's much more than a TV show. So I want to thank you for that. That's the respect that I have for The Walking Dead. And so moving on, let's talk about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. So many failures. Like I said, you had spin-off after spin-off. I mean, they tried, right? We had The Walking Dead World Beyond, and I liked it for what it was. It got a bad rep, and I think it's because AMC was going this direction, like, oh, hey, let's make a zombie apocalypse story for teenagers. And they barely unalive zombies in World Beyond.
So, that's what you get.
And it was not for everybody, but I really started to like it at the beginning of the second season. It grew on me. So I enjoyed The World Beyond, and I know a lot of people didn't. But the latter half of Fear the Walking Dead, what were they thinking?
Damn!
First of all, I love that first season of Fear the Walking Dead, when you started off with Nick Clark, who is actively using addict, who wakes up after passing out in some church. And I have to be choice with my language here, but anyways, he was doing some stuff in the church, and he wakes up right in smack in the middle of the zombie apocalypse, runs into the middle of the road, gets hit by a car. From there, he wakes up in a hospital, and nobody believes him because of his, habits or whatever. And it's the perfect premise for a zombie apocalypse show. And I thought it was great. First season was great. Second season was pretty good. The third season was fantastic. And then in the fourth season of Fear the Walking Dead, they just rebooted the thing. And so I don't know why they just kept calling it Fear the Walking Dead. It was not Fear the Walking Dead any longer. It was a completely different show. They killed off all the original characters, and they went a different direction. So my point is that there was a lot of failed experiments. I don't even want to talk about Tales of the Walking Dead. That was just an absolute S show. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So we thought we were going to get movies. Then they said, oh, we're going to have it be a TV series. Well, good, AMC and AMC Plus. Thank you for making a TV series out of The Ones Who Live, because honestly, you don't make movies, you make television shows, and that's what you strive at. So, finally, on February 25th, we get The Ones Who Live Episode 1, which is called Years, and it starts off with Rick and some really intense music, and he runs into the woods, and he's on a leash, and you're like, what's going on here? And there's some crazy military and a bunch of burning walkers, and he's taking out walkers, and then all of a sudden, spoiler alert, right off the bat, he takes his hand off with his axe. It's just super gnarly. And from there, he adapts his comic book persona, finally. And some people say they prefer Rick without a hand, with a hand. I don't care. As long as the story's good, give us a handless Rick. It's a perfect way to show how much he's willing to give up just to get back to Michonne, even just a shot at getting back to Michonne, and he was willing to take his own hand. From there on, you got Rick narrating, oh, I've been trying to get back to you, and you see him drawing pictures on the phones, and he keeps trying to escape 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, one of which he takes his own hand, and they catch him every single time. It becomes evident and clear that there is absolutely no way somebody, even as strong as Rick Grimes, would ever be able to outwit and outmatch the CRM. The Civic Republic military is just way too strong for Rick to get out. So the cool part about this is that there's this actor named Craig Tate, and Craig Tate plays Okafor, and Okafor is a former Marine. He's high up in the Civic Republic military, the CRM, and he takes Rick under his wing. In spite of the fact that Rick runs away time and time again, he keeps telling Rick there is no escape for the living. There's no way you're going to be able to escape. Rick meets another friend who had a similar encounter with Okafor, is his name, played by Craig Tate, and she tried to escape early on too. You basically find out that Okafor wants Rick to join his program, and his program is to kind of go off script and meet with this small group of people that Okafor has chosen to change the CRM without them knowing from the inside out. I don't know how it's going to work, but eventually Rick decides, hey, if I'm ever going to be able to have a chance to escape, I may as well just play along. He still wants me to join his program and become a member of the CRM, even though I've escaped 5 times. He cut off his own hand, and the guy is still trying to recruit him to be a part of the CRM. So the pacing is so intense that you needed to slow it down with a little bit of comedy from this comic relief character that's like buddy-buddy with Rick. This other scene where Rick's dreaming of Michonne, all of a sudden you're in this completely fake world where everything is fine, and him and Michonne are sitting on a park bench talking and flirting with each other, and then he wakes up, and you almost needed those pauses because it's so jam-packed with such intense and dramatic stuff, this episode. I've looked at some other reviews where people are like, oh, I didn't like the part where he was dreaming about Michonne and they were on this date and blah, blah, blah. And I disagree. I think it was necessary for them to have that part just to stop the intensity for a little bit. Otherwise, it's just like, go, go, go. And there's nothing wrong with that. So basically, the first 40 minutes of the episode, which is a little over an hour long, is all about Rick trying to escape and being unsuccessful. And each time he learns lessons. There is no escape for the living. That's the basic idea of the first half of the episode. And Okafor helps him learn that unfortunate lesson. And as desperate as he is to get to Michonne, he finds that he has no choice but to join the CRM. So that's what he does. He begins training, and then it shows this kind of Marvel montage where there's like this really intense military music, and he gets his prosthetic arm on, and it's got a knife on it, kind of like OG Merle's arm. It's just really cool.
Welcome to the CRM.
Very cinematic, good cinematography, good camera work, and great music. I don't remember who. It's not Bear McCreary who does the scores for the original Walking Dead series. I don't know who it is, but the music is on point. It's superb. So shout out to whoever does the music for The Ones Who Live. From there, even after getting all this power, Rick tries one more time to escape, but he's too good of a man. There's a little girl involved, and he ends up saving her life, and the other person I was talking about earlier that he met saw the whole thing happen, saw him try to escape, and said, listen, if you try to escape, he knows everything about you, meaning Okafor knows everything about you, including Michonne and Alexandria. Don't do it. I'm not going to say anything, but just don't do it. We'll pretend like it didn't happen, basically. It was like this unspoken agreement. And the next scene is Rick going into Okafor's room, and this is, in my opinion, one of the best scenes in The Walking Dead, period. It's super intense. And Rick has his knife out with his prosthetic arm, and he says, what do you know about me? And he says, you made a choice to protect them. And he says, they're not my people. And he's like, sure, they're your people. You made the choice. And he's like, I don't want power. And he's like, that's the thing, man. You already have it. And when you're in the CRM, you do have power, because Basically, you do things that 98% of the people in the city know nothing about. Even like a certain percentage of the CRM, they keep secrets even from their own military. Oh yeah, by the way, Major General Beale is played by the guy from Lost. Awesome. You can tell they can only afford him for like a very short time. He's only in a couple short scenes with Andrew Lincoln, but for what he's in is worth it. He's really good as the general. He just has a stoic way about him. I always liked the guy from Lost. I can't remember what his name is. I'll think of it later. And so the reason the scene is so good is because we get a reveal. We get a reveal about what happened to the world. He was part of the Marines that ended up bombing all those cities. You get a scene where he says, I bombed Atlanta, I bombed Los Angeles, and you get these scenes from, you know, the second season of The Walking Dead, where they're bombing Atlanta, where the helicopters are dropping napalm in Atlanta, and then you get the scene from Fear the Walking Dead where Los Angeles is like on burning. It's just so intense, and the acting is so superb by Andrew Lincoln and by Craig Tate. Then he reveals that he had to unalive his wife, and he didn't have a choice, but thousands of other military that were at Lincoln Financial Field, it stopped them from having to bomb another city. So they were going to bomb Philadelphia, but instead the CRM took it over, and now they have a military, and they have a hidden city there, and there's supposedly hundreds of thousands of citizens in this hidden city. So there is no escape. There's no way they can stop them, you know, certainly not with Alexandria and how Alexandria has been falling apart. Which makes me think, what's going on with the Commonwealth? P.S. Here's the Commonwealth right here. Maybe the Commonwealth could stand up to the CRM. You never know, right? Anyways, Rick basically accepts it. He is the pilot for one of the military helicopters, and they are going on a mission somewhere. Rick and Okafor are having a heart-to-heart, and then out of nowhere he gets blasted in the chest, and then boom, boom. It's like, where are these coming from? All these explosives are being shot from the ground, and they have this distinct sound, and it's like a whistle or whatever, and then all of a sudden Rick's like, we're going down, and that guy is... Craig Tate's character is completely obliterated. It's like, whoa, it's out of nowhere, it's completely gory and super gnarly. Their helicopter, Rick's like, we're going down. And so the helicopter crashes, and then all of a sudden you see these feet in the background scurrying around. You see a sword, and you're like, I think I knew who that is. And Rick is the only survivor, and then she's about to slash Rick's T and takes off his helmet, and then they reunite. And that's where the first episode ends. They're looking at each other like, and it's enough to draw a tear, because we all know how long we've gone. It's been so long since we've seen them reunite. What is season 9? It's been forever. You got RJ. They have a kid that Rick doesn't even know about. RJ. Michonne and him had a son. She was pregnant when he blew up the bridge. So that was really an emotional scene. I thought it was a good stopping point. But episode 1 was, I probably put it top 3 best episodes of The Walking Dead of all time. Put that up against, you know, episodes like the pilot, Walking Dead season 1, the first episode. That was an amazing episode of television. It was so cinematic. It was just like the greatest zombie movie of all time, that first pilot. This is very similar. The first episode of The Ones Who Live was so well done. It was like a really short movie, if that makes sense. So, I'm not going to give it a grade or anything like that. I just highly recommend it. Like I said, I've interviewed a lot of actors and actresses on this channel. Well, not a lot, but I've interviewed celebrities on this channel. If you want to check it out, go for it. I've talked to Ross Marquand. He's an actor from The Walking Dead. Of course, he famously played Aaron, and he was really cool. He was in Minneapolis a year and a half ago, a couple summers ago, for Crypticon, and I sat down with him, so I'll include a link to that interview down below. I think that's all I have. Like I said, I'm going to continue to, of course, make more videos. I love my YouTube channel. I admire all of my viewers and my subscribers, and I want to make more content from you, but I honestly just needed a little break, so I want to thank you for watching. That's all I have. I've said my piece. Now it's time to hear yours.